Someone from the Facebook group Royal Enfield Himalayan Deutsch, namely Roland, pointed out to me that, at best, I had only eliminated the symptoms. And I think he's right. To check this and maybe also show how you can actually solve the problem permanently, I unfortunately have to remove the swingarm, which I'll do in a moment. I have to say, greasing was enough for me. Why that is, and why it wasn't enough for some others or came back, we'll see shortly when the swingarm is out. I'll start by taking out the wheel, and then loosen the shock. Remove the swingarm. I haven't done that yet either. Let's see. It can't be that difficult. Let's go. So, and here you could clearly still hear the squeak. So, what you just saw nicely is that only once I loosened the swingarm did it really move freely. We'll see why that is in a moment. There we have the swinger. So, more details now. So, we have these caps here at the ends. And hold on, I'm going to try to take them off now. Yes, there they are. And here you can also see really nicely where it was rubbing and what was squeaking, right? Namely, the cap here on the swingarm. And why is that? Because, well, I'll show you. There's an inner sleeve here. You can see it when I move it, right? And there are needle bearings in the swingarm. And the theory now is, wait, I just have to push it back to the middle there. Wait, like this. The theory is that this inner sleeve is a little wider than the swingarm, and then the cap bottoms out here. It doesn't touch in there. It just serves to keep the grease inside. So, why that doesn't work is, when you torque the whole thing down, it compresses a bit. Roland gave me photos. I'll put them up here. You can actually see it quite well on them. Unfortunately, I don't have a caliper large enough to check that, but when I look inside my caps here and see the rub marks, it's clear to me that's exactly what's happening. And the squeaking was gone only briefly because grease got in between here, one way or another. So what you can do, there are two options. Either we grind a bit off the swingarm here, which I'd really rather not do, or you put a washer in here to basically make this sleeve a little thicker. Now I'll see if I can find a washer like that, and if so, it goes in there. Then we'll put the whole thing back together, and that should actually eliminate the squeaking. Let's see. First, I need a washer like that. As it always is, you have all sorts of things, but for some reason never the one that really fits. I found these two. I drilled them out to the required 20 millimeters with this wonderful tool. I've already tried this one. It's too thick, needs 3 millimeters taken off. This one might be right, but it has this odd lip, which I'll now remove with my belt sander, because the outer edge only needs to be smaller than the inner race here. It already is. What it looks like afterwards doesn't really matter.
Okay, I'm going to try this now. Unfortunately, I need both hands again, so you can't watch, but I'll show you the final result.
See you in a bit. So, now we have a ring. Calling it a ring is a bit of an exaggeration because it isn't round on the outside, but that doesn't matter. It just needs to hold the spacing here and not touch on the inside, which it doesn't, so it should fit. Now I'll try to install the whole thing the way I have in mind. So this is how the whole thing should come together. And if that's the case, then we should be able to put the caps on. That works already. Okay, then I'll try to refit the swing arm, and then we'll see if it moves freely. What you can also do, of course, when you already have it out, and I'll do that again now, then you can. I'll take it apart again. So, then you can take out the sleeve here, take out the sleeve, and then I can check whether there's enough grease in there. If not, we'll add more grease. Here you can see the bearing, and that's the swing arm bearing. So I'll grease this again, and then we'll put the whole thing together. Now we've got it in. So the correct torque is also very important here. That's why you use the torque wrench. So, the specified torque here is 70, but I don't actually want to set it to that, because the tighter I tighten it here, the more the whole thing gets compressed again. And Roland says he runs it at 50 to 60. Nothing can really come loose there because there's a self-locking nut on it. So let's see, this is 70. And then we'll back it off a bit, set it to 60, and then check whether the swing arm still moves freely. So, as you can see now, the swing arm is now free and moves by itself, which it didn't do before. That means we'll put everything back together now, and with that, the squeaking should be a thing of the past. I'll put it together, then we'll see. So, everything's back together. Then, let's have a look. So, when I sit on it now, there we go. So fold up the stand and bounce a little. So, the noise is gone. This is the right way to do it, and that way it won't come back. And just packing it with grease, unfortunately, only works for a short time, and it usually comes back. I think the tolerances vary so much that it really depends on how tight you've got it down there. That's why I can't say how thick the shim needs to be. You'll have to try it. I did too, and yes, it fits for me now. So I'd be happy if you liked it a bit then. As always, like and subscribe, and if not, do it anyway. Take care. See you next time.